Good afternoon and welcome to this live stream coverage of this huge Women's Super League game between the Clarence Zebras and Olympia Warriors. A top of the table showdown. Every time these sides meet, they're going to be huge clashes this year. We saw one a couple of weeks ago at a similarly windy Junjun, and we've got pretty atrocious conditions once again today for this one. As the Zebras kick off, we'll run through the teams as the match kicks off here. The Zebras starting with Berry, Bird, Shelley Cook in goal, Dixon, Ferrier, Rachel Gill, Louisa Marmion, who did such a good job on Maddie Chambers last time, Zoe Nichols and Maddie O'Brien. Caitlin Stalker scored the goal in that game. Selena Stevenson also in there. We'll see if they run with any differences in their system today. It was a Clarence Zebras real bus parking job last time around. Took the early lead and then sat back. Their opponents today, the Olympia Warriors, have got Black, Bomford, Kane, Maddie Chambers, Charlotte on the bench this time, Bonnie Davies, Jenna Farrow, Leah Gubb, Hannah Johnson, as Shelley Cook picks that one up. Sophie Lazinski, Innocent Michael, Caitlin Roberts on the bench, Russell Teal, Pinkovics, Chambers, and Kane of the Isabel variety. So not too many selection surprises there, although looking at this early lineup, it seems like Zara Dixon might be playing out at right fullback with the job. Oh no, we'll see what the back four is. Chris Hay hinted there might be something a little bit different this time around. We'll wait and see. Joining me to call the action here today for this blockbuster is Paul Hunt. Paul, massive fixture this.
Wonderful to have a repeat fixture of the humdinger we had the other Wednesday night at the same ground. Obviously, as you mentioned, that's Park the Boss job, but sometimes tactics win games, and I think Chris Hay did that to perfection last time. Interesting to see if the Warriors come with a plan B. They really spent all last game just playing plan A for 90 minutes, and sometimes you need a little bit of that variety. And it'd be interesting to see if they've come up with anything as Gill knocks that one forward. Well cleared by Black. Yeah, long bomb Leah. Hitting the long range pass this time. Looks like Davies is going to let that one run out for the first corner of the match. That's sea breeze off Howrah Beach, gusting across Wentworth Park. Very similar to last night's men's NPL game there too at roughly the same time. It was howling. I'll tell you what, it's howling again.
Yeah, got to favour the Warriors in this first half. I think Clarence Zebras would definitely take 0-0 at the break. It's going to be very, very tough for both sides. Lovely move that from Maddie Chambers as she charges into the box here. Numbers will win out for the Clarence Zebras though, and expect a similar backs to the walls type job in this first half as we saw in the second half of that meeting a couple of weeks ago on a weeknight at this very ground. That would be a late time for a kickoff as the Warriors just couldn't find their way through on that day. We'll see if they've changed things up. Bomford, always a good player, and she flashes this one just wide. Well, that's something, it's taken a little touch, so Cook might have gotten a piece of that, but we didn't see them with a whole host of very good chances in that fixture. They were largely restricted from shooting from outside the box, so wait and see how they move the ball around today and whether they can forge a slightly better opening throughout as they take this corner quickly, and it's curled in there just over the head of Davies. Might fall for Innocent Michael. Shaping onto a right, but that just allows Gill to see that one away. But I think we can expect plenty of Warriors possession early in this first half as this one's swung in and it's again just floating past the post, and I think the wind a factor very early on here, Paul.
I certainly agree with you there.
And plenty of Warriors possession early
the wind,
in
Zebra's
this first half.
Happy to go in at 0-0.
Swung in and
we've seen
it's
even just in the first 3 or so minutes. That may not be a possibility. I did like that they ran the short corner routine first up and then tried again with the direct corner. I think that particularly down in that corner, obviously susceptible to just go straight behind the goal and out of play. And I'll be interesting to see what the Zebras do from this goal kick as well. Olympia pushing up, and as we see, doesn't quite clear Bomford in the centre of the park. She has Campbell there for company, and again, it's another corner. It's Marmion on this occasion knocking that one out of play. The third corner within 4 minutes for the Warriors. You would have to expect it to be a little bit of an onslaught, almost similar to that second half we had last Wednesday night, as the corner flag barely staying in position. At least it allows the right footer to take it a bit easier as Bomford whips this one in low. Going to be flicked on, but falls harmlessly into the arms of Shelley Cook, who was Mia Kane at the near post. Shelley Cook usually has a good kick on it. And goes aerial. And it still gets over halfway given that win, so not affecting the keeper too much. It does look like Stevenson will be playing at right back with the goal scorer from last time out, Stalker in front. Now Dixon. Burt trying to knock it back to Matty O'Brien, who's crucial toe in as Gill goes safety first. It's going to be Gubb to come across and take. I reckon if the ball gets 35 yards out of goal on her right peg, she'll be very tempted to have a shot, particularly in these conditions. Just trying to float one over the top of Shelley Cook's head as Innie Michael battling away against Marmion. The ever-reliable Sophie Lazinski takes the throw. Chambers intercepted by Ferrier. Zebra's really penned in this half as that's a good clean challenge from Marmion. Back to Lazinski. Looking for Innie Michael. Cleared by Georgia Bird, who I thought did a really good job in their last outing against the Warriors, controlling that midfield. Played a pretty good destroyer role, usually one in more of the passing, holding midfielder. I thought combined that with some pretty good tackling last time. As Lazinski looks for options. In the end, straight down the throat of O'Brien. Looks up and goes towards Stalker. Battling away on that far side with Hannah Johnson. Ends up winning this battle. Does the Warriors. Now Bomford looking to turn away from Burt. Second defending. Coming in there. Helping him out. Now Davies. Trying to roll the defender. The two Zebras players getting in their way. And Davies with a chance to run at the defence. Went to play in Kane. Now falls to Chambers. Going to sit nicely for Chambers. But a contact not on point on this occasion. And Shelley Cook will comfortably pick that one up.
So it's all the Warriors doing the attacking early in this one, as this one's launched long. Sophie Lazinski, one of the more accomplished ball-playing defenders in the competition there, just heaving this one forward there. Dixon seeing it out of play. It's already a familiar pattern from the first meeting between these two teams, settling into this one as Lazinski searches for an option. Stevenson with a knee in ahead of Chambers and then nods it back forward off the head of Lazinski. It'll be interesting to see if they have any more luck breaking through this staunch Clarence Zebras rearguard this time around. Dixon, Stevenson, O'Brien, Gill, Marmion. There's plenty of good defensive players out there as they try and find a way through Kane, but again it just rolls out the back to the experienced Shelley Cook, who, for as dominant as the Warriors were in that first meeting, didn't really have all that much to do in terms of shot stopping as Stalker swings this one wide. Dangerous looking ball for Ferrier, but well cut out by Lazinski. Yeah, there's Matty Chambers, who's just been rounding back into form nicely. The reigning best and fairest of the league. Just sparkling season last year for Chambers. Really established herself as one of the stars of the competition. Has been picked up by US college team as well, I believe. So we'll be heading overseas next year. It's obviously hard to... we hope she will be. The current global state of affairs, we hope that's the case. As Bomford tried to roll the defence there, couldn't do so. Dixon tussling away there. So strong is Zara Dixon. Bomford fought well, and they keep a hold of the ball here, the Warriors, although Gill eventually intercepts, and now it'll be Stalker charging forwards and showing her pace. Caitlin Stalker, she burns off one, but coming across was the reliable Maddie Black.
Yeah, Matty Chambers announced is going to Alabama State University in 2021. Should at least parts of the world reopen by then. Where ex-Tasmanian Shelby Vienna Hallam also spent a considerable amount of time and won a premiership or two with them. So I hope Matty Chambers next year has the same amount of success as another great Tasmanian export as Stevenson knocks that one down the line looking for Ferrier. Intercepted by Lazinski. Now it is Chambers on the ball. Looking for Davies. Dixon composed as ever. Zoe Nichols fighting to win that one. Bomford wanting a free kick there. The referee in the middle, Nathan Code, not obliging. Now it's Berry. And a Stalker on the overlap. Ali Berry going to the byline herself. Whips it towards the back post. Ferrier can't quite keep that one in. Going for a goal kick, but the first real sign we've seen of Clarence Zebras attacking their end. Ali Berry so important in the attacking phase for the Cleberers. Obviously another one of Matty Chambers' teammates, Matty Black, was scheduled to go over to America last year. Just unfortunately the way of the world this year made a comeback. We're very happy to have her back in this league.
Yeah, the return of Bomford and Black from basically they didn't think they'd have them out there this year. It's helped the Warriors team, that's for sure. A couple of real star players have been able to get back in the mix, and will that be enough to get them over the top of this Clarence Zebras side, who took a top spot from them with that victory with the catch-up fixture. The Warriors looking to seize it back, and Bonnie Davies playing a more central role this year, trails Zoe Nichols by just 1 goal in the Golden Boot race, 10 goals and 9 respectively. They've been brilliant in attack for their sides. Dixon, the captain, has just been imperious as ever at the back for the Clarence Zebras. Ferrier works it into Georgia Burt, playing it forward, but it was well broken up there in the end as the Warriors try and spring something back the other way. Roberts in midfield controlled large parts of that previous meeting. Here and Michael, along with Bomford in there. Pretty dangerous grouping as this one's out wide to a long bomb layout. Down the line for Kane, but the experienced Matty O'Brien there. He just got a bit too clever there. Not sure the step over was required, but she wins it back anyway and then steers it out of play. And there is the figure of innocent Michael, who always looms large over these games. She can flick the switch and be a match winner. One of the most dominant players we've seen in the Super League. Here's Gab, corralled by O'Brien. Works it back for Roberts. Georgia Burt comes after it. Works it down the line for Zoe Nichols. Haven't seen much of Zoe Nichols in the opening exchanges here. The striker been a little bit isolated. Doesn't mind dropping deep to get herself involved in the build-up. Not just a poacher. Roberts battling away with Stalker, then Burt. Holds off the intentions of Burt. Lets it run out now to Chambers. Chambers has a good run from Davies. That's where she heads, but put it behind her. Turning back inside. Good foot in there from Ferrier. Now it's the Clarence Zebras looking to spring the counter-attack through Izzy Ferrier. She just punches this one through. Michael intercepting as she does, but couldn't completely break up the attack. And Stalker trying to get in behind of Black here. Black showing good strength and wins the ball too, Matty Black. Nicely done by the experienced Warriors defender.
Yeah, certainly was there from Black as Davies picks it up, looking to combine with Bomford, who has plenty of pressure on her from Dixon. As that come off the Warriors, O'Brien goes to ground and does win a free kick. Davies coming up sore as well. And referee running back to see on Stalker's injury. Still not yet back to her feet. That's the goal scorer from the last game between these two sides. You just noticed before when the Warriors were attacking the bobbles in the pitch and divots, there are plenty out there on Wentworth Park this afternoon, so maybe it might just slightly affect the Warriors a little more, used to the crisp, even surface of Warrior Park. Certainly plenty out there, as does look like DK is in her actual trainer one role.
Yeah, not playing today. She's on the comeback trail from the injury, but fit enough to play trainer. As we'll take the stoppage here to check in at the scores from around the grounds. 2 other Super League games taking place. Ulverston currently leading South Hobart, approaching half-time, 1 goal to nil, and an absolute shootout at Olympia Grove. It's University 2, Kingborough Lions 3, so 5 first half goals there.
It was 0-0 when I last checked that before this game started. when I was in the car doing a last quick check.
Goals absolutely flying in up at the Grove. And both teams eager for a win in that one, that's for sure.
If it's this windy at Wentworth Park, imagine what it's like up at Olympia Grove.
It was 3-0 to the Lions, so 2 late goals in the last couple of minutes to University, so quite the game on up there as we're ready to get back underway in this one. The big title bout between the competition's top 2. It's Clarence Zebras entering the day with a 1-point advantage over the Warriors. We're looking to change that and take back top spot that they occupied for the first 6 or 7 weeks of the season. Steventon, she bend this one back in. She did, but that just allowed Maddie Chambers to pounce. Lazinski. And now Bomford. Switching it up, looking for Gub. Well read there by Rachel Gill. Berry dropped it off for Burt. Didn't see anything she liked. Was looking for the quick release. Instead, puts the ball in dispute for Ferrier. The Warriors have plenty of numbers in the centre of the park there. They win it back. Gub scored a couple of goals against Beachside in the Statewide Cup quarter-final last week. Bonnie Davies driving to the byline. Her cross well blocked away by Maddie O'Brien. Still going though is Davies. The Warriors just looking to move it round. Roberts to Lazinski. Sophie Lazinski trying to dissect the defence. That looks suspiciously like a handball. And nothing blown there, I think, by Nathan Code, our man in the middle.
Pointing, saying it was more above kind of the elbow shoulder area there from the referee in the middle. It was just before that, I think. It was be wise of the Warriors to really push up from these goal kicks, and they have done so with Bomford intercepting. Bomford trying to find the run of Davies. That one's going to curl into the arms of Shelley Cook. At least, as long as with those kind of through balls that the Warriors like to play, at least if Cook's in a good starting position, a lot of them will roll on through to her this afternoon. Zebras still not putting any real pressure on any of the Warriors' defence if they're playing out in their own half. Certainly applying the pressure once they get to halfway, and it results in the turnover. Berry looking around, looking for options, spots the runner Nichols. Black getting a foot in. Pomford v Burt. Probably my matchup I'll be watching the closest, I reckon, here this afternoon. There's Lazinski, plenty of space to run for it. Oh, it's a good ball through to Kane. Stays on side, and crucial interception from Maddie O'Brien. As Russell receives the ball on the far side. Out towards Gub. Michael. Haven't seen Michael get on the ball too much so far in this match, as Davies has a shot. Again, not really troubling Shelley Cook. I guess we do have to class that as a shot on target, though.
Yeah, it's a shot on target, but much like that first game, nothing overly threatening about them, but certainly in the ascendancy of the Warriors, they're controlling this game. Will they be able to show the patience and find the breakthrough? I think they're probably a little too eager to pull the trigger last time. Some nice footwork there from Bonnie Davies. Plenty of numbers back, but surging is Davies. Set the cross in and nearly an own goal against Stevenson. Oh, shanked the clearance horribly back onto the crossbar. Bullet dodge there for Selena Stevenson. That could so easily have been 1-0 to the Warriors. Made a bit of a hash of that, but it remains 0-0, and that'd be the other way the Warriors could break through if the Clarence Zebras are still for them, Paul.
Well, it's been the most likely outlet so far in the first 19 minutes, as Michael looks to change that. With Marmion on the ground. Michael continuing to play Gill. Just about does enough to let it see it out, and it will go out for a goal kick. But yeah, we have another look at that Stevenson clearance in inverted commas. It's come right off the laces, right on. She puts her hands to her head immediately as well. Knows how lucky she is there, Stevenson, as Marmion's still on the deck. I think the one change by the Zebras compared to the last game between these two is Marmion moved into centre midfield here this afternoon. Gill starting and Bronte get on, who I thought had a pretty good game last time out between these two sides moving to the bench. So that might have been the slight tactical tweak Chris Hay was alluding to during the week. But given the amount of pain Marmion looks in, might have to revert back to the plan from last time.
Yeah, I hope that she's alright as Tania Kinagiza out there showing some concern. So Clarence Zebras hate to have to be forced into a substitution early on, but got to say it's looking likely there at the moment. She's very gingerly getting back to her feet as Chris Hay comes out to check on his midfielder. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. They could also just, I suppose, go like for like and probably get on. Not a bad option in terms of bringing someone off the bench. Shows the depth they've got. But hobbling off is Marmion, who was so very good in that last game. Really did a fine job containing the threat of Chambers throughout the game. And the Warriors using the opportunity to conference in the bullseye there. They'd be pretty happy with the opening 20 minutes. They've not looked at all like conceding. Clarence Zebras haven't really offered much back the other way, but they'll just be saying, let's not get frustrated, keep moving it about. I think they've just got to show some patience. They just pulled the trigger a little too often from distance last time around. Low percentage shots. Just need to wait for their openings. They've got the players who can score goals.
I do think they need to wait, but also the wind picking up and likely to only get worse according to the forecast as well. Rain meant to set in at around 4 o'clock as well, and they'll be really battening down the hatches if that happens, both with the wind and the rain going against them. Well, they'd really ideally love to get at least a goal, possibly more out of this half. As they're back underway through Chambers, sizing up a run at Ferrier. Now Kane. Comfortable for Dixon to clear. Black underneath that high ball, immediately pressured by Nichols, but they combine well the Warriors' defence to eliminate that. And as soon as I say that, Lazinski hits about her first real misplaced pass of the day and allows Stalker to have a run. Crowds of blue shirts. She might have to do it all herself. Waits for the run of Ferrier. Goes in that direction, but really intercepted by Lazinski. Again, eventually it makes its way to Bomford as Galb out wide and eventually goes there, but again, Gill reading that one, the former Batman villain. Stalker. Pass allows Maddie Black to comfortably collect that one, but it's just a slight difference between their last meeting. Warriors looking to play that first ball out from defence a bit quicker than last time. Not too many passes between Black and Lazinski, maybe one to set up the person in a better position and then at least move it forward.
Yeah, slight tweak from them as Chambers trying to get the better of Ferrier here, who's sticking to her like a cheap suit for the time being. Kane unable to get in behind of Selena Stevenson. Puts it behind as the Warriors continue to probe away here, and you can see by the corner flag just how strong the wind factor is here at the Dunes today. Howling off those dunes as the throw to Bomford. Tried to skip around Georgia Burt. Won the ball back. Immediately ceded back to the Warriors.
How deep Zoe Nichols is getting there, though. She's the player further forward and is 35 yards out max from goal as it's Gill coming forward from left back to intercept on that occasion. Berry now. I don't quite see if Marmion's made a return yet.
Doesn't look like it. I think they're down to 10 for the time being. Chambers swinging it in away there by Matty O'Brien. Stevenson, the defence, pretty comfortable. Some very good players in that back four. And they've turned it over again, not really keeping a hold of the ball at the moment. They're just kind of clearing and then absorbing another Warriors attack. And he's very reminiscent of that first meeting thus far as Gab tries to get in behind of Rachel Gill, who hasn't let anyone in down there just yet. As going past halfway in the first half, 0-0 the score, and as close as we've come was Stevenson hitting her own crossbar. Clarence hit a really fire off anything the other way, but they'll be quite content to reach half-time 0-0 and then look to do the damage with the wind in the second half. To be honest, they'd be quite content with a draw out of this game, given they sit on top of the table. Lazinski looking for Davies, trying to cut past the defence. O'Brien sticking to her. Just didn't have to force her wide. A rather rash shot in the end, flies high and wide.
Yeah, as much as the striker, if that doesn't work, you want to try and go again. Might have been better for Davies just to turn out there and reset. Rather a rash shot on the turn, although her shot last game out that rattled the crossbar. One of the better opportunities the Warriors had, probably the best they had last time. As Johnson comes across to collect. Now Gubb. Inwards towards Roberts. Oh, missed clearance there by Dixon. Very thankful for Steventon for bailing her out there. Burt. Intercepted by Davies, who hits the shot first time. Geez, that's taken a few bobbles across the Wentworth Park pitch, but Shelley Cook firmly behind it.
I'd imagine after a full slate of games yesterday in pretty tough conditions, the ground might be a bit chopped up and favour those low worm-burning shots as Bomford is dispossessed well there. It was Ali Berry, I think, tracking back, working hard defence. Chambers robbing Ferrier of it and sends the cross in near post. Montfort trying to make it work, but again, defence shuts that down. Innocent Michael from range onto the crossbar. What an absolute howitzer that was. She thumped that using the wind at her backs. Smashes this one, and again, denied by the woodwork.
And it's pure luck that the Zebras haven't gone behind there. Henny Michael has hit that with pace and venom. Really unlucky not to get that one in as Dixon gets in front of Bomford. Nichols inadvertently taking out Roberts there, but Michael ends up with the ball. Now, Johnson dropping the step over on Gill. Trying to work her way around the outside. And goes towards Davies. Back to Roberts. Step over there from the referee. Michael not sensing a way forward. Turns, passes, and O'Brien clears. Now Nichols looks up, would only have one player ahead of her. Now Burt. Towards Zoe Nichols. Lovely run around the outside by Ferrier. Only has Stalker for company. And just a reminder, Zebra's still down to 10 players at the moment. Chris Hay clearly trusting in his pretty compact defence there. Johnson with plenty of time. Warriors now playing the ball forward, looking for Davies. Matty O'Brien coming across to clear.
It does seem like it's still down to 10. They're taking a long time to make a decision on Marmion, if that's the case. Trying to see if there's a new number who's appeared out there. We might have just missed someone sneaking onto the pitch. But, oh no, Marmion's just trotting back on right now, in fact, in the corner of the screen. So that's a good sign for the Clarence Zebras. So we've got the treatment from Canageza and set it right. So back out there, Marmion. Back to a full complement. And they're going to need them because they're under siege here at the moment. Innocent Michael very nearly took advantage of the extra room out there. Cannon of a shot. Would have been quite the opening goal. Not to be though. Lazinski squares this one up. Intercepted by Burt. Punching it forward. Well read though by Caitlin Roberts. Really intelligent reader of the game is Roberts. Just always steps in. Intercepts a lot of balls. Does some great off-the-ball work. Lovely little ball from Lazinski for Davies. And sliding in is Dixon. And taking a tumble over the fence is Davies.
Yeah, we did see the return of Marmion, but didn't look happy to be turning and twisting on that knee as she was running. It's Davies.
Must have rolled out of play before she got the crossing.
Must have. And there's a goal kick that's gone straight to Maddie Chambers. I bet if that was one of those bars you used to have at primary school, Davies would have done the full flip there. Fencing at Wentworth Park, not quite made for that. Marmion's starting to look a little more comfortable at the moment. DK's Magic Spray clearly working a treat. Hope to see her back and fully fit soon. And back in these matches, Canageza is now Eddie Michael on the ball. Roberts. Davies Kane wants it to feet. Going to use that as a dummy, and Davies decides to go herself around the outside around. Dixon Cook comes out. Oh, and slots it home. Bonnie Davies gets the first for the Warriors. After half hour, they finally break down this Zebras defence. And Davies, their leading scorer for the season, comes up trumps.
Yeah, lovely work. Just outpacing Dixon here. Lovely finish, sliding out was Cook, but she picks out the far corner to absolute perfection. I always love a player who celebrates a goal. And there's pure exuberance from Bonnie Davies, her 10th of the season. She jumps atop the goal scoring charts, and they do get the breakthrough, the Warriors. So that changes the dynamic of this one. Last time around, Clarence Zebras were able to just sit in for the entire game, force the Warriors to do the attacking. Now it's the Zebras that are going to need to force the issue, and immediately they look to respond here through Stalker, just running out of room, although pretty well to keep it in the end as Johnson stuck tight to her. Marmion swings it across, and perhaps the goal has just jolted the Clarence Zebras into life. So this will open the game up quite considerably, you'd imagine, as Steventon just showing too much of it to Chambers. Fell to Marmion, back to Steventon. Slid one through, but never really gave Nichols a play on it. And Zixon unable to keep that one in. She'll be frustrated having been beaten by Davies on that goal. And Bonnie Davies, being moved centrally into a striking role this season, shows why she's so dangerous. There's kind of an inclination of coaches. You get someone fast, stick them out on the flanks as a winger, but really like the move of Davies central, of course. She can get a step on a centre-back. That's what she can do.
In theory, you've still got more pacier fullbacks as well, often sometimes converted wingers out there as well. So getting against centre-backs, and you traditionally, it's had slow. I'm not saying the Zebras ones are specifically. That's a good ball through to Kane up against O'Brien, who's offside, but it is a good tactic. I say that only confidently because it's a very popular FIFA tactic of mine. As Ferrier looks to play it forward. Burt towards Nichols. Tried to get that one to Ali Berry, who hasn't had too many touches of the ball so far in this match.
Yeah, the key movers have just not been involved, have they, in attacking sense. Nichols and Berry. That's been Bomford, Michael and Roberts just absolutely bossing the middle of the park. It's laying the platform to allow them to dominate this football game right now. See how much of a factor the wind is, but for now, it's all Warriors. Can Chambers keep this one in? Not quite. I'll just knock to the finger there. So we have another look at this goal. Turns on the afterburners. Picks out the far corner. Just rolled it through expertly, but did Bonnie Davies.
Right, almost just kissing the far post as it went in. It was Burt. Again, intercepted by Roberts. Intercepted so many of Zebras' forward passes when they have made them here this afternoon as Roberts. As Hong Bom Leah has a chance, but that one will go out for a goal kick. Still outside of O'Brien taking it, and for Zebras occupying the inside the 18-yard box, wanting to offer the goal kick something different. There's Stevenson. So now it's a Ferrier. Plays the 1-2 with Burt. Looks up, spies the run of Zoe Nichols and Stalker up ahead, but can't find either of them. Split the middle of them, in fact, and just hit black. Now Roberts. Burt. Intercepted again by Michael, this time tracking back. It's just interesting with both Roberts and Michael too. Quite similar players there in the centre of the park. It's going to be pretty difficult for the Zebras to work their way through centrally, I think, this afternoon. Is that surely a foul by Matty O'Brien?
Could be a bit more than a foul too, I reckon, there from O'Brien as I think code comes across.
reckon that the fact that it's her first one might just make her not get a slice of cheese for that one, I reckon.
Felt fairly professional to me, that one. Davies is off to the races here, and O'Brien just hit barges and says no, cutting that avenue off. The refs do seem to be a bit more lenient in this league, I've seemed to have noticed, but gets away with it perhaps O'Brien, and probably a good foul to give as Bomford will try and conjure something from the set piece. Defence able to get back and get set, but what can Olivia Bomford do here as she gets to work over the dead ball, swings it in straight to Shelley Cook. And we'll just eat that one up, easy pickings for the Cleberers number one.
I do think it's at least one the referee needs to go over and say, look, I've given you one, next time I'm going to have to do something.
Feeling generous is Cody. Chambers knocks it back to Lazinski, such a key to this Warriors team. Lazinski leads the charge out from the back as Stevenson just about kept it in. Must have been a smidgen of the ball still in play there. Took a pretty tough bobble, and you can see the wind just forcing the ball backwards at the moment. This one punted forward, but there was Maddie Black to nod it on. Georgia Burt, Dixon winning that one in the air. Chambers laying it back to Roberts. Montford. Warriors leading this game. How will that change things up in the second half, not having to chase it? Maybe Clarence need to be a little bit more adventurous, commit a few more numbers forward perhaps, and that might just afford the spacing behind for the speedy attackers like Davies and Chambers. Lazinski to Chambers. Patient build-up, but couldn't quite pick it with the return pass.
It does seem like the Warriors are playing with a bit more width than last time out, or at least trying to get in between the gap between the centre-back and the full-back with their 3-5-2 formation, as that one's surely out. And the assistant referee on that far sideline calling that one. Comfortably that time. There's Lazinski. Through ball, return ball from Bomford, not quite hitting her feet. Stevenson. And that one along towards Nichols. Her first real touch in her attacking half for a while, Zoe Nichols. And kept very quiet this first half. Stevenson down the line to Ferrier. Now Nichols tries to roll Maddie Black. Still keeps possession on this occasion. Through ball towards Berry. First touch. Ali Berry's going to have to do it all herself. And straight at the keeper, Jenna Farrow. Comfortable save for the keeper, but it is the first time we've had to call her name this afternoon so far.
Yeah, very, very capable Jenna Farrow, and it's going to be tough to beat her at a near post from that angle. Usually takes something pretty good to beat her. Fair case for being the number one keeper in the competition in my eyes, Farrow, but largely untested so far this afternoon. It's comfortably saving that one. That's a lovely ball through for Davies, but off balance and on the non-preferred. Was never going to get the requisite power to really challenge Shelley Cook there as we have a look at the first real promising attacking moment of the game. Zoe Nichols with a nice ball. Gub doing a pretty good job, just a force Berry on the angle there and looking utterly unfussed by the whole thing was Farrow.
I think she was expecting you have to dive at least some direction, and in the end just
please.
Right on the forehead.
You're not beating me with that.
Did have that look about her.
Who do you think you're dealing with there?
Did have that expression on her face, did Farrow.
And rightfully so.
Absolutely.
Just a very, very good keeper. But Ali Berry, first time we've really seen her flash in an attacking sense, has been pretty deeply situated in midfield for most of this game. And she's a real goal scorer from the middle of the park. It was her and Maddie Chambers, the two real stars of the Super League season last year in an attacking sense for their sides. A little subdued so far today, Berry, but that might all change in the second half with the wind at their backs.
I do think their game plan does have to revolve around not conceding another in this last 6 minutes and then go back to the sheds and be like, righto team, we got the wind at our back this time. Let's really go and have at it. I think will be the message from Hay at half-time. So Brian's kick really capturing the wind.
The slope theory truthers will be hanging on to that too for the Clarence Zebras. They'll have that factor working in their favour in the second half. It's Kane dancing along the touchline, then knocks it back to Johnson. Wentworth back to Gubb. Punching this one to the top of the box. Chambers trying to bring it under a spell. Plenty of numbers back for the Clarence Zebras though, and Marmion steers it away. Jumping up again is Lazinski, ever willing to inject herself into the attack is Sophie Lazinski, and she's doing pretty well here, just holding off the attentions of Marmion. Back to Roberts. So comfortable on the ball, these Warriors players. Bomford now. And Stalker coming in from her blind side, wins the ball and works it further afield to Zoe Nichols, who's isolated and plenty of Warriors back, so she'll do well just to hold up and wait for support. Was doing that nicely, but in slid Innocent Michael, who just continues to boss the midfield. Well, that's a foul.
Yeah, I was waiting to give my opinion on that before I saw it. I did have the handout indicating a foul. I think replay vindicates that. It's not too many fouls so far in this game, as Roberts looks to play in Davies. Did think Kane's through ball for Davies for that shot before was a bit more of what they need between those two. Playing off each other, the two strikers for the Warriors. It's Chambers. As the aforementioned Kane and Lazinski in close company. Lazinski looking for the run of Kane. Can she keep it in down the slope? Keeps it in, despite Stevenson not agreeing and still appealing that went out. Dixon this time with a desired clearance. So we've only got 3 minutes left in this first half. Lazinski towards Bomford. Keen to try and get in turn on the ball past Burt, but plenty of players in the way as this time a foul's killed by the referee. On ball hitting the assistant referee, which surely means that's out of play, as I think the wind has picked up a little more in velocity this last couple of minutes.
Yeah, you can hear it through the effects mic. It is howling right now, making life difficult out there. Well, so Warriors looking pretty comfortable at the moment. I think Clarence Zebras will probably switch things up in the second half. We'll expect a few tweaks, and it's going to be a little bit more defending for them to do, you'd imagine, the Warriors in the second half. But at the moment, they are just running the show.
Yeah, heat map and possession stats to be quite interesting for this one. I reckon Zebras in their own attacking half would be 10% of the match at most, I reckon. It's not been up there too much as Dixon eventually helps that one away. Stalker pressing Maddie Black and forcing her out of play. Possibly one last chance for the Zebras. Chambers now intention of picking that one up. I'd be surprised if he just picked it up and the old kind of behind the back throw really delay play even more. Lazinski heads that one out of play. Stevenson down the line looking for a run of Berry. Putting up against Black, hasn't got too many options. Tries to play the 1-2 with Stalker. Intercepted, and now it's Chambers. Looking to get on the charge as Chambers and use her pace to go around outside Stevenson, who smartly doesn't commit the foul. Chambers with the cross towards the near post, but Cook comfortably collecting that one. First time we've really seen Chambers pick the ball up from deep and charge at the defence.
Yeah, just carried it in behind beautifully. Knew she had Stevenson covered for pace. A longer foot race there and just burnt her off. Couldn't quite find the run of Davies in the middle though, as Zebras hold on there. Olympia would dearly love to find a second just before the break, and the wind at their backs take full advantage. There, Gub. Back to Michael. Momford. Now Roberts. Johnson. Back to Gub. Slowly building their way up down the right here. Any Michael will punch across in, trying to find Bomford. There was Georgia Burt, though. Hit it back to the top of the box. Ali Berry was present for the Zebras, and her clearances just hold up, and Chambers will jump on that one and look for Lazinski to find the run of Kane. Just a bit too much pepper on that one. And can't imagine there's going to be too much out of time. There was the one stoppage when Marmion went down injured, but maybe 2 minutes an absolute max.
Yeah, if Cody's feeling generous, maybe for the brief Stalker injury stoppage we had earlier on in the half, but I can't imagine any more than the 1 minute, and I reckon by the time Steventon trots over to take this one, we're going to hit that 1 minute.
So, interestingly poised for the second half. There's this one. Well, Clarence Zebras are going to have to change things up from what they've produced in, I guess, the last 135 minutes of football they've played against the Warriors. Simply parking it deep isn't going to work, although they might have a late opening here as Berry swings into the box. In space was Nichols. It was a heavy touch, and that's a good save from Farrow. The touch just took her onto the non-preferred there, Nichols, though. She could have got onto the right. Would have had a better shooting opportunity, and Farrow was able to shut that one down. But nevertheless, it's their best attacking moment of the half as they threaten late on. The danger's still not past. Berry nods it back down, and jumping on that one was Jenna Farrow. We'll have a look at the replay here. It's as good as they've offered in attack. Berry swinging the cross in here. Yeah, just the touch took her wide. Well done, Jenna Farrow, shutting it down. But if she had got that onto her preferred right, it could well be 1-1.
Absolutely. Just curled it away from her right foot. Bit too much there, Nichols. Just almost, even if she just stopped the ball dead, almost futsal style with the soles, that might have been a better option as Gubb was still a couple of yards away in defence as Black. Oh, she doesn't get there at this occasion, Black. It's Stalker up against Farrow. And that's over the top and wide. Zebra's really coming alive in stoppage time. 2 great chances. And again, still coming up naught.
Yeah, from the angle, just went to try and beat Farrow with power and just got a little under it. But these last couple of minutes will offer some real encouragement for Chris Hay heading into the second half. They've flicked the switch, knowing they need to chase the game now, and finally starting to pose a bit more of a threat than they have as they've been parked in deep throughout the first half. And it might be a bit of a real reversal of the game in the second half if the Clarence Zebras can dial things up. But they're finishing the half the stronger, and they might yet get a third and final look here. It's going to be a set-piece opportunity late. We've ticked into the 3rd minute of added time here.
I'm not sure if Nathan had a chat to our good friend Brenton Copra yesterday. This is lurking into Copra time.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where we've pulled 3 minutes from. I suppose a goal, and Marmion was down for a couple of minutes. And
it's just rare you see it in the first half, so liberally applied.
Look, realistically, if they did actually apply it correctly, we'd probably have 5 or 6 minutes every half anyway, so I'm all for it.
I don't mind. It's just a bit different to what we're used to.
And you never want to blow it when there's a promising attacking moment, because then that team will get really shirty at you. So, last chance here for the Clarence Zebras. The set piece to be taken by Matty O'Brien. They'll swing the bodies forward here. 49th minute of the first half, and she steers this one in onto the head of Dixon, who nods it over the bar, and surely that will be half-time. Indeed it is. Nathan Code blows the whistle. It's the Olympia Warriors leading this game and temporarily moving to the top of the table, and it has set the stage very nicely for the second half, Paul.
Yeah, it certainly has that one goal. As we're trying to work on our camera work there. As we'll have a look at it again from Davies. Only real time she got in and around and behind the Zebras' defence and made them pay. Steventon as well hitting the bar. And then that last 5 minutes, Zebras coming alive in an attacking sense. And whilst the sun is shining, the wind is howling. And that'll be at their backs. It'll be very interesting to see what happens that Innie Michael shot as well. Warriors, for all their territory and possession, maybe another goal might have been more deserving, but it's pretty even here. And as you said, Andrew, very well set up for an enthralling second half.
Yeah, we'll be back with that one for you in around about 15 minutes' time. Don't go anywhere. This massive game in the Super League title race could go right down to the wire. An intriguing second 45 lies ahead, but at the half, it's the Warriors, 1-0.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be going anywhere. Okay, yeah. They're trying to get me to move, but I can't. Everyone will be blocking my shots over there. Yeah, as if they only put a rise or a scaffold or something like that nice up to film that.
I don't know how you can expect to be here and get a good shot. And then if they want that, you're not going to be able to see any of that over there.
Well, over there they've got the benches, so if I pan around, there's going to be people blocking the shots everywhere. So.
It's a nightmare.
Oh well.
I agree with you. Really, these should be on the other side anyway.
I think we can expect plenty of Warriors possession early in this first half as this one's swung in and it's again just floating past.
And a Stalker on the overlap. Ali Berry going to the byline herself. Whips it towards the back post. Ferrier can't quite keep that one in.
Sophie Lazinski trying to dissect the defence. That looks suspiciously like a handball. And nothing trigger last time. Some nice footwork there from Monty Davies. Plenty of numbers back, but surging is Davies. Set the cross in and nearly an own goal against Stevenson. Oh, looking for Davies. Trying to cut past the defence. O'Brien sticking to her. Just did enough to force her wide. A rather rash shot in the end in pretty tough conditions. The ground might be a bit chopped up and favour those low worm-burning shots as Bomford has dispossessed well there. It was Ali Bomford trying to make it work, but again, defence shuts that down. Innocent Michael from range onto the crossbar. What an absolute house. A lot of balls to some great off-the-ball work. Lovely little ball from Lazinski for Davies. And sliding in is Dixon and taking a tumble up.
Going to use that as a dummy, and Davies decides to go herself around the outside around. Dixon Cook comes out. Oh, and slots it home. Bonnie Davies gets the first to work their way through centrally, I think, this afternoon. Is that surely a foul by Matty O'Brien?
Could be a bit more than a foul too, I reckon. That's
Stevenson down the line to Ferrier. Now Nichols tries to roll. Matty Black still keeps possession on this occasion. Through ball towards Berry. First touch. Ali Berry's going to have to do it all herself. That's straight at the keeper.
Actually untested it so far this afternoon. It's comfortably saving that one. That's a lovely ball through for Davies, but off balance and on the knob on the ball. These Warriors players. Bomford now. And Stalker coming in from her blind side, wins the ball. And
round outside Stevenson, who smartly doesn't commit the foul. Chambers with the cross towards the near post, but Cook comfortably collecting that one.
It's the last 135 minutes of football they've played against the Warriors. Simply parking it deep isn't going to work, although they might have a late opening here as Berry swings into the box. In space was Nichols. It was a heavy touch, and that's a good save from Farrow. But nevertheless, it's their best attacking moment of the half as they threaten late on. The danger's still not past. Berry nods it back down.
Yards away in defence as Black. Oh, she doesn't get there at this occasion, Black. It's Stalker up against Farrow. And that's over the top and wide.
Zebras can dial things up, but they're finishing the half the stronger, and they might yet get a third and final look here. It's going to be the 49th minute of the first half, and she steers this one in onto the head of Dixon, who nods it over the bar. And we're back for the second half at sunbathed Wentworth Park now. The sun is out and shining. The wind's still going to be a factor, and the home side are going to need to chase this game in the second 45, flipping the script from the first match when it was they who took the lead in the first half, and then they sat back, defended that lead throughout. Well, today, we'll see if the Warriors take that approach or not, but it's going to be the Clarence Zebras needing to make the running in the second half. It is very well poised for another thriller between these two teams. Got to think the last 5 minutes of that first half will give them a fair bit of hope going into this second 45, Paul.
You certainly would, and yeah, this is why you don't listen to Google weather ever, as it said it was meant to pour down at 4 o'clock, and we're half hour away from it, and it is bathed in glorious sunshine as we are underway in the second half between the match between the two title contenders in the Women's Super League, Olympia Warriors and the Clarence Zebras. And Dixon getting the pass out towards Stalker. Berry and Nichols full of running already. Interesting to see how attacking the Zebras are as now it's the Warriors underway. Chambers to Stalker. Does look like no changes for the Zebras. Marmion still right to continue despite that knock earlier as Annie Michael trying to weave her way through the whole team. And mindful to Davies here on the volley. Nearly gets it to Kane. She'll try to keep it in. Ferrier rushing back. Ball whipped in towards, well, and Shelley Cook just doing enough. Maybe adjusted to the wind going a particularly different direction and just safely tips that one over the bar. Or off the crossbar, in fact, I think. It is indeed straight off the crossbar. It's now the third time the Warriors have hit the crossbar. Annie Michael in that first half with a rocket, and then Selena Stevenson nearly scoring an own goal. There's occasional slice of cheese commentator Matthew Dyson looking particularly freezing cold in front of the wet area. Unsurprising to see him there as Davies now on the charge. Gets past one, and Maddie O'Brien, last line of defence. Warriors coming out full attacking verve so far, Andrew.
Yeah, we'll see if Clarence can get anything going. See how much of their first half dominance is going to be attributed to the wind and how much is just their midfield just bossing the contest. They've started brightly in this half as well. As the Clarence Zebras needing to chase the game. Caitlin Stalker down the line there. Scored the goal in the first meeting of the two teams. Here's Ali Berry, little nutmeg on black. Marmion bobbing up in the box here, and she squares it, but it was a poor ball. Couldn't find Nichols, and easily picked up for Jenna Farrer, who's donning the cap here in the second half, given the sudden factor that the sunshine's now playing as well. And you see that one just standing up into the wind, indicating it's still pretty strong out there. And Bomford drawing the foul from Georgia Burt. It's fairly easy decision right under the watchful eye of Nathan Code there, as one deflects off of Gubb and fell out the back for Roberts. Scrapping in the bullseye here. The Warriors will come away with it. Chambers now on the opposite flank and tried to go through 4 defenders. One of them was Maddie O'Brien, and very difficult to go past her. She wins that ball away. It's a weak pass straight to Leah Gubb though, and long bomb. Leah loves a dip from range. Didn't quite have the power to get past Cook. Tough shooting into the wind here, but love the willingness to take the shot on, hence the nickname there.
Still can't believe we didn't see a long bomb Leah attempt in that first half. Maybe too much power in that right peg of hers, and might just need the wind to actually hold it up. Maybe just trying to get a bit of late dip there could have been the theory.
Could have also been the coach just wanting to craft some better shooting chances than they got in that first match, where really that's all they had for large parts of it, were those dips from outside the box. And tough to beat from range, Shelley Cook. Very good overhead. Experienced keeper, and just far too casual there. At the back was Black, and Stalker denied by Farrow. And just far too casual there, allowing the chance. Jenna Farrow has been rock solid when called upon so far.
Certainly has, and you've really got to go the first time shot there, Stalker. Just trying to catch the keeper unawares as they were comfortably in possession earlier. Would not have been expecting that. Good power on the shot, and again Farrow standing strong. Zebras all of their chances really coming in the last 10 minutes of total play. And as that time, it's intercepted, but cleared by Stevenson. Now, Roberts lays it out towards Kane, looking for the run at Davies. Chambers occupying centrally. Davies again looking to go herself. Gets past two. Will she have a shot? Wants it on that right peg. Doesn't have any options out wide, despite Chambers trying to get there, and eventually Marmion gets there. Davies challenge, luckily not making contact, as now Stalker will go for a run. Johnson and Black for company, and do well to get a set-piece opportunity here. Instead, lays it back towards Berry. Centrally towards Burt, trying to play it forward towards Nichols. It falls to Georgia Burt. Marmion eventually gets to Nichols. Will she turn and shoot? Instead, lays it out, looking for Ferrier, but easily intercepted. Now, Bomford looking to pick a pass, and eventually finds Chambers, who'd caught up from a defensive duty. Gill strong in the challenge. Berry, a bit too much shin pad on that one. Stalker will chase down Johnson, hoping the wind will come to her rescue. She elects to keep it in. Turns the ball over to Johnson, and eventually concedes a throw. Very cheeky trying to claim that one, but apparently it is a throw-in, which I'm not entirely sure I agree with.
She's sold that very well. As Hannah Johnson is around the grounds. The goals flying in at the other games. Ulverston with a big road victory coming up over South Hobart in the battle for third place there. 4-0 on the road to the side from the northwest coast. I thought that was going to be a pretty close game, really. Not to be. And Kingborough Lions have picked up where they left off in the Cup last week. They leading University 6-2. So no shortage of goals around the Women's Super League this afternoon.
Except here at Wentworth Park. We've just got the solitary goal deciding the game so far. Chambers sizing up Gill.
Yeah, I'd rather the gripping 1-0 over the 2 4-goal margins than those other ones, though. So pretty happy for it to remain low scoring close. As long as there's a goal in it heading into the final 10 minutes, it's going to be a thriller here at the Junjun, given the title stakes, and that's just too far out ahead of Berry. Look at it pick up speed and just fly through to Farrow. The wind is getting stronger and stronger, which should suit the Clarence Zebras, who I'm surprised to not see them pushing up the ground a little bit more and applying the forward press on the Warriors playing out from the back.
I certainly understand why you wouldn't do it in that first half, but I'd be shifting minimum 5 players up there as they now do it and nearly force the turnover. Black again just getting it to Eddie Michael, but it does seem every time particular Stalker presses on the centre-backs. They are getting some results. As Gill intercepts. Berry finding Nichols. Stalker now out wide to Ferrier. Only Berry making a storming run into the box. Goes towards Burt. Tries to get a head up and whip it in, but presence of Eddie Michael again. Thwarting any attack coming her way as Marmion steals in, looks up, tries to find a striker in Berry. They are really going that heavy through ball tactic, the Zebras here in this second half. As Ferrier again looking for Stalker. And just that one's going to roll and roll and roll, and that fence wasn't there, that'd just about end up at the beach, I reckon.
Yeah. Definitely required, and that's why we've got a match manager just situated down that end. Probably a wise call given the conditions, as Farrow opting to just roll that one to Black and build from the back. You can hear the waves crashing in the background, so strong is this wind, and it's going to make life pretty difficult for the Warriors playing out, as Chambers tracking a long way back here. Lazinski now. Content to sit off till they reach around about the centre circle, and that's when they're starting to apply the press. But they've played through here through Roberts, so that's well intercepted by Zara Dixon. Dixon has her pass broken up, and the Warriors looking to spring back the other way through the pace of Bonnie Davies. Surging forward is Davies. Oh, not dealt with by O'Brien. Sliding him was Cook, completely upending Kane. A little bit of the ball, you can imagine, but dangerous moment there. O'Brien not quite dealing with the threat as you'd expect. Michael now takes over. Looks up. She see ahead of her. She opts to shift it out of play. So I think a player still down in the box after the collision with Cook. Let's have another look at this. It was a surging run from Bonnie Davies. O'Brien didn't control it. And Cook is sliding on through an utterly upending game there.
I think it counts as a good save there from Shelley Cook as Kane just got her toe in first. Quick off her line, the keeper. His first 5 steps, all important for any good goalkeeper. As eventually we'll get play restarted.
I don't know if our cameraman's friends with this linesman or not.
Well, I was just going to comment. The referee's manager, Tony, has got his wonderful contraption up on the far side used for refereeing assessments and things like that, testing out its strength against wind capability. Maybe just wanting a cameraman to help out with that from some perspective from the other side as well. As Stalker doesn't need to actually pass that one back as the wind just kind of passed it back before. The gusts up to 60 km an hour recorded at the moment, and that weather station is not anywhere close to somewhere like Wentworth Park. As now Bomford charging past Burt. Olivia Bomford into the box and well blocked again by Dixon. Sliding in to make that challenge. Chambers was lurking at the back post. Mia Kane, the likely option, just peeling off the back of O'Brien. We'll have our first corner in quite some time here, and this one with the way the wind is and the way Bomford can deliver, I'll be getting this one right on top of the keeper's head. It's Bomford does just that towards the near post, and Cook completely missed it, bouncing in the 6-yard box and eventually bouncing all the way out of play, completely missing everyone.
Yeah, Shelley Cook not quite judging this one. Went at it with the foot in the end, just misjudging a little. To come out to it, might be better staying on the line, but very tough for keepers to judge with these swirling breezes at the moment. That one should fall to Ali Berry. Can Ali Berry get something going here? I think her side is going to need a spark from their star playmaker if they're to get themselves back in this one. Ferrier couldn't quite find Nichols, and again, Warriors take back over through Chambers. Bomford, who seems to be almost being tagged by Marmion in midfield today. Slightly different role. I think that might have been the one that was hinted at by Chris A. Perhaps not the marking job on Chambers, but on Bomford in central midfield. Here's Eddie Michael, who's just running the show. So powerful in midfield and rattled the crossbar earlier in this game. Now, Mia Kane has Matty O'Brien for company. He's content just to sit off, and now Kane goes around the outside of her. It's a cross into the near post. Cleared back away. And the fence holds. Ooh, one back well by Johnson, and then she gets upended by Berry. And this will be a free kick in a promising area.
Good opportunity for Bomford to stand one up similar to the corner before, as Berry goes right through the back of the Olympia Warriors player, and I thought that cross from Kane, once it was clear, was going to sit very nicely for Long Bomb Leah there. Just getting in the way of the Zebras, but Warriors certainly creating a few opportunities as they go to the set-piece routine. Davies on the angle, hits the byline, Bonnie Davies, and eventually cleared. Gets it back. Now Kane, just out of her feet, and Eddie Michael hits it wide of the mark. I thought Steventon was just going to dangle a leg out there. It must have got the call from her keeper, and sails out for a goal kick.
Sat nicely for Michael this one, and wisely leaving that one alone after hitting her own crossbar in the first half, Stevenson, but more than capable of dobbing one from outside the area. Here's innocent Michael, generates some real venom on her shots. The Warriors, despite the win factor, looking the more likely team in the second half as well. Can the hosts turn things around? Nichols working at 4, but the defence is dealing with it quite nicely and just winning the ball back. Guard plays this one to Black, who'll let it run through to Farrow. It's the Warriors playing with confidence as they look to reclaim top spot on the table. As it stands, that would be how it plays out, and they're quite content just to knock. They've got the lead in this game, and if Clarence are going to press up on them, they're quite content just to knock it around the back right now. Very interesting, almost a little stalemate going on here at the moment. But now the press comes and now they force the turnover, and it's Stalker from range, and it's saved again by Farrow. And when they do elect to press, they are forcing the turnovers. They're just hesitating a moment and letting them come out a little bit at them before they do it.
It was very chess-like there before. It was just, we'll let you do it, we'll let you do it. And Olympia going, oh wait, they're just going to let us pass, and as soon as we do it, we'll pounce. As Leah Gubb goes the long diagonal ball, O'Brien clearing that one out for a throw-in. As referee blowing the whistle in the middle.
A sub maybe in the offing here?
I would assume so.
Come on, Adam. Flips us around here, mate. No, not that way.
Good crowd in at Wentworth Park this afternoon, enjoying some sun and walking the dog on the beach as well, I can see just there. Be very content.
Yeah, look, if you were going for a walk on the beach, you'd be getting off at quick smart with this wind howling about. Probably better off to come up and watch the football game as O'Brien clears it only so far as Gubb. Her shot was blocked away and then it deflects into the hands of Cook, who had a slight fumble but was able to control it as the Warriors continue to push for this second goal. Shelley Cook launching this one along, and that's going to go probably out of play. And that's what, if you're playing rugby, is it a goal kick or it's gone out for a goal kick. I was going to say, they almost boxed him in perfectly there, kicking for field position.
I mean, now that you've seen that that's how far a kick is going to go from there, I'd be tempted. Really aim for pen them in inside their own 20.
Especially given they're not exactly, they're struggling a bit to play out from the back as Maddie Black was sold down the river a little there by Farrow. Managed to extricate herself quite nicely. Leah Gubb down the line looking to spring Kane, but there was Maddie O'Brien. Oh, Kane's got the better of her, but O'Brien kept on keeping on and won it back eventually. Michael in ahead of Marmion. Back to Michael again. Just overhits this pass. Past the hour mark. A gripping contest here. The stakes could not be higher for both these sides. They know that they can't really rely on any other side within the league to take points off them. They've got to do it themselves. Chambers on a surging run here. Zebra's defence does well, though. Now Georgia Burt. Again, turned over in the middle of the park, though. Ali Berry. Well done, Leah Gubb. Broke that one up. And
Bronte Gaddle.
I was going to say, that is the sub that we were wondering about taking place on the far side there.
It's Izzy Ferrier that's come off.
And a handy injection off the bench, Bronte Gaddon. Very classy player. Let's see if she can unlock this defence.
Once again, the stalemate begins. Farrow isn't going to pick it up anytime soon. I mean,
why?
Why? What? There's no need. I would have absolutely stood there for as long as possible. I wonder if coach might just impart that advice, or at least run a messenger down there to do that. And it's Michael.
If they're going to sit off, you've got the lead in this game. Let them.
I mean, I don't know what we would fill time with 28 minutes of Farrow standing with a foot on the ball, but
you don't have to think eventually it should be closed down by a Clarence player.
Someone would. Cook. And the goal kick. That one bouncing over the top of a striker's head, and it's flicked on in the Stalker direction to just about keep that one in. No, not quite on that far sideline, but that's taken one bounce, one flick on, and gone out for a goal kick.
Yeah, getting some real purchase and speed. It just picked up on poor Stalker there, was charging after it. Not a lot she could do. It just kept moving faster and faster as now they're just starting to press up a little more. That's what they need to do. I know they're wary of the threat of the Warriors' pace in behind if they do push up too far, but they need a goal in this game. They've got to roll the dice a little bit more. Perhaps invite that danger. It might be what you need to risk in order to get themselves back level in this one. It's the Warriors leading, courtesy of Bonnie Davies. Her 10th goal of the season has them in the ascendancy here. The home side needing to break it down and swings this one over the top, but a difficult one for Nichols to try and get a hold of. And Farrow collects.
With a spin. The wind is, the wind is taking that almost 90 degrees at one point. It was Burt keeping possession of the ball. Dixon under pressure from Davies. Now it's turned over to Innie Michael. Warriors being pressed a little more by the Cleberers so far. And the wind just taking that one away from the touch of Roberts, and now Zebras is getting in their way. Well, Jenna Farrow just stand there, almost Statue of Liberty-esque on the ball, waiting for someone to get within a bull's raw. No, Ali Berry was there actually. Gelb just slightly getting in the way of the pitcher. Gill going to let that one roll out of play. Interesting to see how much caution to the wind the Zebras will throw at the end of this second half as Dixon is out wide, and look at the spin on that one once it flicks up off the foot of Zoe Nichols. Now Chambers, haven't seen a whole lot of Maddie Chambers here in this second half. Lays it down towards Davies, going the long way around Dixon. That is a heavy touch, and Shelley Cook comes out to collect. Just a bit too strong there from Davies.
That's why they've been hesitant to push up, I think. The pure pace of Bonnie Davies getting in behind there. Such a threat. She was off to the races, and she's got the better of Dixon there in the foot race. Well done from Cook. Alert to the danger. Maddie Chambers as they look to attack down the left wing again. In full flight here is Chambers. A good sight that. Such a joy to watch. And she's in to the box here and swings a shot just wide of the back post. Maddie Chambers pushing this one wide as she went past Zara Dixon there and tried to catch Cook out. Wasn't too far away either. As the Warriors try and find the insurance marker. A 2-goal lead would be very tough to overhaul, and looks like we're going to see this substitution
as we got the last one wrong. I'll correct that in a minute. It's Kane coming off.
Charlotte Chambers, I think, coming on.
Likely. Selena Stevenson is not on the pitch. And I just saw Ferrier run earlier, so it looks like Stevenson for Bronte Cat on for Zebras earlier.
Yeah, Ferrier maybe a little bit more leg speed there as Berry sends this over the top. That, again, just picks up too much speed. And Farrow can just wait as long as she wants it.
I almost feel like I'm watching a game from when you see those old Italia 90 highlights before they had the repeat picking up of the ball change there, where the keeper would just chill for ages and then they'd knock it back between each other.
It's the correct tactic with the 1-goal lead and kick it into a strong breeze. Well, more like a hurricane than a breeze probably, but yeah, I think it's, unless they're going to force her to do it, just eat up the seconds. It's the right move for Jenna Farrow. They are having some success when they are pressing up and winning the ball back here as Stalker plays it to Ali Berry. Can she get the better of Maddie Black? The two scraping away there, but Maddie Black takes the points there. They continue to hold on this Warriors defence. 68 minutes have ticked by. We're past the halfway mark of the second half. The Olympia Warriors looking to flip the script on the first game between the two. Walk away with the points and reclaim top spot. And then the stakes will really be raised when they meet for the third and final time.
Phoebe Teal, that was coming on for the Warriors.
As Innocent Michael threads this one through for Davies, but the flag raised there on the Warriors speedster.
Warriors looking possibly going slightly more defensive there. Teal dropping back for a defender replacing a striker as Bomford turns smartly away from Army and only has Davies up front for the moment. Chambers and Gubb arriving, goes back towards Roberts. Looks like we might see Ongbomlea pushing up a little bit more as this match goes on. Johnson. Towards Gubb. No real teammate support up ahead, certainly in an attacking sense, so we'll try to go around Gill herself. Looks it down the line. Gill's seen that trick before. Smart back heel looking for Burt, but Gubb gets it back. Gill strong in the challenge again as Gadden tries to play the forward pass, but knocked out for a throw.
Full time in the two other Super League games taking place this afternoon. Two pretty big wins. South Hobart pulled back a late stoppage time consolation goal, but they go down 4-1 to Ulverston. Whilst Kingborough Lions just unleashing the hurt on the struggling university team. 8-2 there. So second last taking on last place, and a thumping victory that for the Lions as they score 8. And this one, thought was just going to loop over Jenna Farrow there for a second, but judged it well. Just slightly wrong-footed, looked up, but fortunately for her, the wind is so strong it just pushed it over the top there.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bit more of that as the game goes on, as that win for Ulverston really cements their third place position at the moment. Kingborough now jumping up very close to South Hobart. They be tied or a point off?
Point off still.
Point off still.
Although we'll have a game in hand. So, yeah, Ulverston looking to solidify themselves in third as Maddie Chambers takes off to the races here. She's surging down the left wing. Dixon came across to deal with her. Still got a cross in though, Chambers. It's poorly directed. Can't quite find Davies. She's coming into this contest a little more as the game opens up a little here, Chambers, having a little bit more room to run into.
Thought Georgia Burt did very well there not to concede the professional foul and the slice of cheese there. Hugh Dixon was coming across from centre back. And there's Berry looking for the through ball towards Stalker, but again, they've slightly wised up to Farrow's tactic there. Stalker continuing that run. And there's a step over there from Gubb, well cleared by Gill. 20 minutes to go. Warriors looking set to get some revenge for their defeat the other week. So Brian has plenty of time. Gets it towards Nichols, who's dropping a little deeper and deeper. Looks like Stalker's going to be the number 9 for the Zebras. There's Barry trying to turn away from Eddie Michael. Now Stalker. Comfortably collected by Michael, looking to play in Chambers, and I reckon we could see her having a run at Marmion here. Trying to play the 1-2 with Davies. Davies picks it up, shoots the return ball, and goes out towards Gubb. Forward for an on-rushing Olivia Bomford, getting into the 18-yard area for close to the first time all day. Cook comfortably collects. Almost looks like she's looking for that kind of one that's bouncing and trying to off-put the Warriors' defensive line. Roberts getting that one before it could hit the ground. But the Zebras not making too many clear-cut chances, though. And just certainly compared to how many the Warriors were creating in that first half.
Yeah, they're looking pretty content right now, Olympia. Can they change things up here? Zara Dixon steps up, wins the ball, and looks to send an attack away here. The numbers are back for the team in blue, though. Olympia are able to deal with that, unable to quite keep that one in, though was Gubb. The former Batman villain down the line, trying to find Stalker. Marmion chipping forward. And again, not looking overly threatening. And if you're an Olympia supporter, you'd be feeling fairly confident right now. They've got the lead. They're not looking too troubled by it. At the moment, they sit top of the table unless the home side can find something to change it up here. O'Brien to Gill. She sends this one forward and spies the run of Ali Berry. Now here's a game breaker. Can she get past Maddie Blackie? Turns in onto the right. It's a poor ball though. Innocent Michael had parked herself back there, and again it breaks the play up. And now the counter is on, and there's suddenly space for Maddie Chambers to work into. Works it further afield for Davies. Monty Davies, the offside flag going up perhaps.
I was surprised Chambers didn't take that one and run with it herself, especially Dixon was sizing up to defend, but quite not quite on her heels, but just standing quite tall, and I thought Chambers could have gone round the outside, if I'm honest. And it was Michael. Flicks it on towards Bomford. Was she tripped up in the end? She was. Relieve some of the pressure on the Warriors. It was Ozinski taking her time with the free kick, going short towards Teal. Doesn't look like any more movement on the Zebras bench, nor the Warriors bench. Looking very rugged up. The Warriors bench is that chip through ball. Well, I think that was meant towards Kane. Didn't quite even roll all the way back to Johnson, just ended up in between the two of them. It's that gusty as that throw in. It was turned a mile in the air.
It's a good purchase on that one, Gill. Stalker tried to trap it. Might have been better off just taking off, running down the line there, because you're going to get some distance on your throws here and try to get in behind. But they just need to mix it up. They need to change things up here at the moment. The Clarence Zebras there not looking a little threatening. You said earlier they might need to throw caution to the wind. Well, there's no shortage of wind, but there's no shortage of caution either right now. Both just in spades. But can they start to press up on them here and pose a few questions? They've got goals in this team. They've got players who can create them, but Olympia dealing with them at the moment. Matty O'Brien jumping up, trying to force the issue and just overhitting a pass for Stalker. That's probably another thing that's making it tough. All these passes being overhit. Just a little bit too much out ahead of the attackers, and then the wind picks it up, and you've got no hope of tracking it down.
And Stalker's certainly full of running, certainly been pressing these short goal kicks, but not really having too much help there, especially if the wind's going towards that left-hand corner and they're looking to play down there, trying to create the overload as Nichols tries to help out on this occasion, still gets through to Teal. Michael stays in play. No, here's a throw-in. I was waiting for the AR to put his flag up. Can they get any more work from this right-hand side? The Zebras, 14 minutes left plus change of stoppage time as Nichols tries to turn the defender. Tough to control the ball out there. There's Bomford turning away from Burt, lays it through to Roberts. Wants to get around Gill. And well, to relieve some of the pressure on his side, but then that one's left a little short. And now Nichols, will she play the through ball to Berry? She goes in that direction. Two Warriors players doing the job of stopping it, also getting in the way of each other. Johnson has plenty of time to get this one under. Through ball finding Roberts. Gill looking to pounce on that one. Play on given by referee Nathan Code. The long ball looking for Dixon. Will hold up in the wind. Bomford nearly ending up with it. Georgia Burt still looking to play that through ball. This is Davies stayed onside. She has here. Bonnie Davies to make it two. Has gone wide. Finally got him behind the defence, did Bonnie Davies. And I'll be honest, that probably could have sealed it.
Yeah, big chance there. Lovely ball that from Matty Chambers. And Davies has beaten Dixon a couple of times for pace today. It's been a good matchup between them, but a few times Davies has managed to get in behind. She's so fleet of foot. Once she's got a step on you, there's no catching up. But just couldn't quite find the back of the net there, and a big chance goes begging, although the Warriors will quickly seize the ball back through Michael, only temporarily though, but inside the final 15, they've got to find something here, the Zebras. They've not really looked like scoring in this second half. They need to just start having a few pops from distance or flood a few extra bodies forward, I'm not sure, but they're running out of time as it remains 1-0 in favour of the Warriors. They look to attack down the right here through Ferrier. She turns, squares it up for Nichols, who got very little purchase on that first time. Almost flicked effort. And comfortable again for Jenna Farrow, who blasts this one. Winning the header was Marmion. Down to Burt. Burt driving it centrally. Broken up there by Johnson. Now Lazinski looks to carry it away. Played it through for Chambers, who's just barged into by Zoe Nichols. And a pretty obvious free kick there. Just charged right into the back of Matty Chambers.
Olympia bench appealing in full voice for that free kick, despite how probably blatantly obvious it was. It was Lazinski weighing up her options. Ends up with the Zebras. O'Brien whacks that one forward. Stalker contesting. Johnson doing just enough. There's Roberts towards Teal. Looks it past her immediate defender and looks to lay in Davies, trying to turn Dixon, but Marmion coming across. Zebras, that through ball going to be a bit too heavy for Farrow. 10 minutes to go. It's Farrow. Gets this one up over halfway despite the wind. Falls to Burt. Lofting that one forward. Stalker chasing. Berry trying to flick it on Ali Berry, going around the outside of Lazinski. Gets the low cross in, but teammates hadn't quite got there yet. Comfortable again for Farrow to collect. He's been strong when needed, but only really the one or two chances in this half. Scanlon's handball will leave the Warriors with a free kick.
Yeah, she's dealt with everything that's come her way nice and comfortably, but hasn't been overly tested. Jenna Farrow protecting the clean sheet for the time being and has been strong when called upon. Both players think they've got the throw in here, but it's going to go the Warriors' way. Olivia Bomford will leave that one for Johnson inside the final 10. It's the Warriors holding sway. The home side need to find a spark late here. Stalker scored the goal in the last meeting. Can she be the one to conjure something? Burt with a wonderful ball over the top for Ali Berry, who rather strangely just tried to hit it first time. Well, she had a step on the defence here, and maybe that's the respect she's got for Sophie Lazinski, but surely you've got to just carry that ball into the box there.
Yeah, it's expect more composure there as we'll break from that as Davies now has a chance to run at O'Brien. Goes around the outside. Bonnie Davies to seal it! Oh, Cook with the save. Deflection works to the Zebras' advantage as well. Going centrally on that occasion, Davies. Cook sticking a leg out and keeping her side in the game.
They'll be kicking themselves if they do concede a late equaliser here, Olympia. Zara Dixon came back. Might have just done a bit to impact the shot there. Good save, Cook. But Davies has had two chances to ice this one. She has the goal that has her side in the lead. And her pace is just causing all sorts of issues at the back, but hasn't quite been able to drive the final nail into the coffin there. And just leaving the Zebras lingering if they can find something late. They haven't landed the knockout blow, but they certainly looked more likely than their opponents to score in the second half. Even with the wind flipping around the other way, the Warriors have controlled this contest. Maddie Chambers gets the better of Bronte Gadon. Still working. Chambers just dancing around her. Laid it back for any Michael. Michael hustling and bustling and then squaring it up, but in stepped Rachel Gill to see it away from Gubb. Now perhaps a chance for Zoe Nichols. Lays it off for Stalker down the left. Stalker just keeps it in and then she finds Ali Berry. Berry chips it in. Gadon had it taken away from her by Michael. Just wanted a little bit more. Flung herself at the ball. Gadon waited for it. Just allowed Michael to step in and break up the play once more. Gill away from Bomford nicely. Berry to Stalker. Caitlin Stalker wide on the left. Can she pick someone out in the middle? She carries the ball. And then hits the deck and out for a goal kick. The attack Well, they're petering out there. Had plenty of bodies in the middle. But they're just not asking the questions at the back right now.
One of the first times they've had pretty much all of their attacking five in the front in the 18-yard box of the Warriors, and just couldn't quite get the delivery they needed. There's Roberts battling away. Get on. And intercepted. Gill trying to get it past Annie Michael. Chambers, a likely option. Goes in that direction. Dixon just getting there in time. Now, what can she do with the pass? Not quite finding Ali Berry. Now the Warriors on the break. O'Brien dropping 5 yards off and comfortably collecting that one. Just seem a little tight on their legs as well, the Zebras, as Bomford's still full of running. Gill. Bomford thought about running towards the 18-yard box, now almost heading towards the corner. Wins the throw in for her side. Not where Clarence want the ball to be. There's everyone offering to take this throw in. Committee meeting has been held. Roberts to take. Right to the feet of Bomford. And coach called the foul. Gill a bit too exuberant with the challenging. And again, they've killed a good minute already down in this corner of the Warriors.
See if Bomford opts to swing this one in, given it's such a promising position, or whether someone comes and just rolls it short and they opt to eat some more time off. So they're going to opt to punch it into the box. Olivia Bomford to take. 86 minutes of tick by. She sends this one in past all comers, and the Clarence Zebras try and get something on the counter attack. Zoe Nichols just did well to control it and then slid it forward looking for Berry. Couldn't quite find her. Warriors again take over, and E. Michael sliding it through for Bonnie Davies, who had straight offside. The flag raised on Davies, who's going to get a yellow ticket for finishing it off. Put that one in the back of the net, but had straight and gets a booking for a trouble.
Yeah. It's O'Brien and Gill both raising their hands, asking the referee where is the cheese.
Yeah, I mean, it went up. The whistle and flag had gone up pretty early. I think she can claim innocence on that one. Just look at the speed that picks up the turf and eludes Marmion. They're running out of time and perhaps running out of ideas here. It's looking increasingly like it's going to be Olympia's day.
Yeah, we mentioned the Warriors in the first game meeting between these two. Didn't necessarily have a plan B, and Zebras haven't really had a plan B either in this one when trying to come back from a goal down. Although that's a good pass from Gannon. Berry smartly getting out of the way of the black clearance. 3 minutes left plus stoppage time. Gill throws it right to the feet of Roberts. Nice back heel towards Johnson, who whacks it clear. O'Brien stepping further and further forward. That one will pick up some pace in the air. Ends up back with the Warriors. Roberts trying to win the throw-in. That's come off her leg. Stalker wanting to take it quickly. Doesn't unfortunately have too many options ahead of her. Is again conceding the throw-in. At least it's up the right end for Clarence in these closing stages.
Like that throw in there. Just buy some field position. Try and box them in. And now, spinning away nicely was Roberts. Such a classy mover, although Gadon's robbed it back for the Clarence Zebras. Couldn't find anyone with a cross. Maddie Black intercepting. Maddie O'Brien now will look up. She's got a few offering runs into the box. That's where she heads. Just stands it up. And Farrow collects just a bit too much on it in the end from O'Brien. A bit too central as the wind just picks a hold of that. You can see when it really gets under it and just propels it forward.
Oh, but that's a great run from Georgia Birch. She started from 25 yards deep, right on just in picture. And if not for the wind, I reckon that would have gone very close to her head. And it's not the worst delivery from O'Brien, but just turning too much, and now it's Chambers. Will she go goal or corner? Holds the ball up as Innie Michael out wide and goes in that direction. Calls for offside, not heeded, but now they get a corner. And will eke more time off the clock. Warriors closing this one out nicely. No one from the Zebras running across to grab the ball and place it on the corner flag for them.
Really cleverly done that from Innie Michael. She wanted a corner and she got it. And looks like another bit of another substitution in the offing here as they just try and run a little more clock. There's Olivia Bomford. Jeez, really, you'd see Olivia Bomford substituted. It's an interesting one. But she's going to be replaced by Charlotte Chambers. Bringing on the extra defender just to help see this one out, though I'm not sure I'd ever substitute Olivia Bomford if she was fit and firing. Pretty good at maintaining possession. Either way, an extra defender on as they just try and keep it in the corner. And Bert's done really well to win it back off of Chambers, but they're into stoppage time and they've got to go. O'Brien needs to just launch this one. That's exactly what she does. Found Zoe Nichols. Surrounded by Warriors with her and Gadon, so they go back to go forwards. This is a decent little build-up, and they work it wide. Can Halle Berry track this one down? She tries gamely, but it just picked up more speed on it.
That was the slope.
That was the slope. There's one for the slope truthers out there.
I'm still shocked you would take off Bomford. I cannot believe that, especially from free kicks and just holding the ball up in the corner flag, which you might need to do for the next minute or two, but may not get to that point as O'Brien tries to lop one forward. Now Davies, can she get around the defender? It's come off O'Brien, I believe. Well, I thought it came off O'Brien anyway. Throw in taken. All hands on deck for the Warriors. Thumped clear. Now Gill. Heavy first touch, and she will win a throw-in for her side. Curious to see how much stoppage time we have in this second half. Probably had more interruptions in the first half than the second.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it was more than a couple as Marmion turning nicely. Last chance saloon stuff this. But they can't get through the Warriors here. And Innie Michael just settles on the ball and says, try and take it off me. She gifts it straight back to Gill in the end though. Gill's ball into the mixer. Lofted forward, no one making that run. Farrow will collect and they might not get another attack. They're just about there, the Warriors. They've almost done it. And deservedly so. They have been the dominant side today. Really could have scored a few more, but here come the Clarence Zebras with the last roll of the dice. Ferrier steers it in near post. Away by Johnson. Chambers gets ahead to it. Coming through was Burt. Just punched it in centrally. Plenty of bodies up there, but none can control it. And the final whistle rings out. The Warriors have done it. They claim a 1-0 victory over their fierce rivals and move back into top spot on the Women's Super League table. Having lost by a goal to nil a couple of weeks ago, they reverse that here today and claim a 1-0 victory of their own. And really, on balance of play, the Warriors thoroughly deserving the win.
I think so. Plenty of territory and possession in that first half. And in that second half, their defence stood strong, repelled anything Clarence threw at them towards the end there. And early in that second half, they probably had more chances on goal as well. Davies could have iced it a couple of times, as well as adding to what was her winning goal. And yeah, got to say, I think the Warriors fully deserving of that one. Maybe could have even won by a couple more.
Yeah, hit the crossbar a couple of times as we'll have a look at Davies sliding home the game's lone goal. It was enough to propel them. Quite often these big fixtures between the big teams, they're often low-scoring encounters. Wasn't due to any real caution today. It was some pretty diabolical conditions that made things tough, but the Warriors take the 1-0 lead, deserved the 1-0 victory, and they move 2 points clear on top. And we eagerly await the third and final meeting of these two teams. We'll have a slightly longer wait for that one than we did for this, with just a couple of weeks in between them. I think probably 5 or 6 weeks away, that one. But really looking forward to it. But from us here at Slice of Cheese Mindstream team, it's been a pleasure bringing this one to you on a day where the Warriors took a giant stride in claiming the 2020 Super League crown. A big 1-0 victory. Bonnie Davies the scorer, and we have new ladder leaders once again.